Welcome everyone to week 19 and week 5 of the Lewisville Leopards TBL League. And today, a little bit of a different location and different setup, but we'll be recapping the Creating Our Minds Undiscovered League as well as the Lewisville Leopards week 5 of the TBL. So thank you all those for tuning in. Let me do one thing real quick. I do apologize real quick. Let me do something to make sure that I can see everybody's comments. If you're tuning in on Facebook, but last night wasn't able to do the show because we had a little bit of storms here in North Texas. So shout out to Overton Claiborne. Man, you are always in the building. I appreciate your support. I got something special for you coming up in the next couple months, man, because you were always supportive. All right, so let's redo this for the second time. Yesterday it did not work out, so let's redo this again. So we're going to talk about the Creating Our Minds Undiscovered League. There's a link that you'll see down below. There you go, right there. And then also there will be that's the website you can go to. Also, you can go to creatingourminds.org. And let's go. Week 19 of this league. And we had a couple of games. We had games on Saturday and Sunday. So we will talk about both of those. Yeah, everybody seems to be good now, OC. Everybody seems to be good now. Just a little bit of thunderstorms and rain and things get, the power gets cut out or internet's not working well. So that kind of stuff just happens. But we will be definitely be good. All right, so we had Undiscovered versus the Texas Bruins. Want to give a shout out to Keith Smith. Man, was really getting active. I was impressed. Every time this guy plays, honestly, I think he's one of those guys where he's going to do his thing, and you don't have to worry about him not contributing or him not playing his best ball, because he does it every single time I watch this guy play. Also, John Mouton playing tough. I had that down. He was also playing for the Lewisville Leopards this weekend. Alan Smith, like I said, always balling, man. Whenever I see this guy, he is balling. Marcus Brooks with some nice hook shots, and I'll be talking more about him a little bit later on in the show. So at the end of the first quarter, it was 12-13. And these are running clock games. So, these games they're 10 minutes, but each quarter, but it's a running clock. So, you could have a score of 50-55. That's just kind of the way how it goes. Shout out to McKinney Jackson tuning in on YouTube. Thank you for checking in. Once again, we are live right now on YouTube, also on Facebook, and on Twitter. So wherever you are, share the show, like the show, subscribe, leave a comment, and check us out. We appreciate the support and the support of the Creating Our Minds organization. I want to give a shout out to Rosie Coleman with a nice drive to the basket. He was playing well for the Texas Bruins. And then Biggie Adebanassar came into the game. I always like to see this guy coming in because I know he's working hard on his game. And he came in and made a little bit of a contribution. But Marcus Brooks, this was Marcus Brooks's day. He was really on it this game against the Texas Bruins. And he was just showing that, I think he was showing Coach Mathis Crowder that he needs more playing time. That's what I was getting from, his play on the court. Marcus Brooks just came to play. That was it throughout this entire first game. Once again, Undiscovered versus the Texas Bruins. And there was a nice play by, his last name is Washington, Trenton Washington to Ramon Tuck. Nice pass and bucket. That was at the end of the second quarter. It was 27-31. At halftime, Texas Bruins were up. Robert Williams with a couple of threes on the day. I was impressed by his play for the Undiscovered team. in the Creating Young Minds Undiscovered League. Also, the usual suspects. The usual suspect, Cameron Huntsman, was doing his thing. The guy for Texas Bruins. Keith Smith with another nice move. And Overton. So the YouTube is at BS3 Radio, which we are live on right now. So if you go to at BS3 Radio, you'll be able to find the show there. And you'll be able to comment there as well if you would like. I appreciate that. Appreciate the support. Keith Smith doing his thing again, man. Keith Smith and Alan Smith. I don't think they're brothers, but whenever they get on the floor together, they truly make an impact. So I'm always excited to watch those guys play. So at the end of the third, it was 47-39. John Mouton with a big play down low. He was having a really good game. And at the end of the day, the Texas Bruins win the game. And they were the victors in this one, 62-54. OC, you tuning in, can you hear me and see me clearly? Is there any technical issues? I hope not. On my end, it looks good. So whoever's tuning in, give me a thumbs up just to make sure everything's good. Like I said, we had some weather issues yesterday, so that did derail the show at its normal time, which is on Mondays at 8 Central. You can check out this recap. All right, so game one, let me give a couple of shout outs and go to the stat sheet. John Mouton with 18 points. He also had 11 rebounds, had a double-double on the day. That's a good look right there. 19 and 10 by Marcus Brooks. And yeah, he was doing his thing on the floor as well. These guys, like I said, like I've said in the past, I should say, these guys work hard on their game. They're trying to make a name for themselves, and they're trying to get an opportunity in the league. At the end of the day, that is exactly what they're trying to do. And these guys are really putting in work. I got a lot of respect for these guys because, it's not easy. It's not easy, but they continue to put in work every single time I play, every single time I watch, and every single time I get an opportunity to see them. They're definitely doing their thing. All right, going over to the Texas Bruins side, I wanted to give a shout out to Rosie Coleman. I mentioned him earlier. He had 6 points on the day. Also, Trenton Washington with 10 points, Alan Smith with 12, Ramon Tuck with 16, and then Keith Smith with 10. He actually had a double-double, 10 and 10 on the day. And I brought up Robert Williams. He had 9 points on the day. He had a couple of threes. So as we talk about week 19, as you can see, the Creating Young Minds Undiscovered League, go to creatingyoungminds.org, where you'll be able to find information. Also, you can go to creatingyoungminds.uscreen.io so that you can be able to watch the games. So let's get over to game number 2, which was the Pros versus the Texas Fury. Texas Fury, that's a new team that's been playing in the Undiscovered League, and they have been they were pretty interesting to watch. I'm not gonna lie, it was good to see some kind of new and fresh blood in there. Texas Fury scores first. Dwayne Kinney, he ends up getting the first bucket of the game. Draylon Triplett, shout out to Draylon Triplett. He had a good day for sure. He had 17 on the day. Had a couple of threes in there as well. CJ Carter, if you haven't heard me talk about CJ Carter before, let me go ahead and go a little bit on this rant, if you will. He played professional basketball with the Knicks. Also, he played for the Texas Legends in the G League, so he's got a lot of experience. And every time he's on the floor, you know that this guy's going to give his all and his everything. And he's always an exciting guy to watch. And I appreciate his impact on the game. So CJ almost had a 4-point play. I was going to call him out on that. He should have had a 4-point play, but he ended up missing a free throw. Both teams were hustling. This was a nice up and down game, and it was actually extremely close. It was only a 2-point margin of victory, and I'll tell you who won here in just a minute. But it was a game that was close. It was up and down, back and forth. And it really was fun to watch. It was 12-10 at the end of the first. Again, they're playing 10-minute running clock quarters, so things kind of go by fast. Texas Fury playing some really sound basketball. Draylon Triplett with a nice and one. Like I said, Draylon Triplett was doing his thing. It was 24-21. Texas Fury hits a shot at the buzzer. A lot of ball movement by the pros. That was something that I was impressed about. Draylon Triplett with a three. Like I said, he was having a big day. Damian Reed with a nice drive to the basket. And throughout the remainder of the game, it was a close game. It was a good back and forth. But at the end of the day, the victor in this one was the pros. They beat the Texas Fury 55-53. Let's go to the stat sheet. The top scorer, two top scorers for the Texas Fury, Joseph Smith. He was also the captain of the team. He had 17 and 7 rebounds. Also, you had Damian Reed at 17 points, 10 rebounds. Those are the top two scorers. And then Draylon Triplett, I said, man, he had a big day. 17 points, 6 rebounds. He was very instrumental in these guys getting a W. Also, Rob Williams with 11 points. He went 3 for 7 from the three. And last but not least, Leroy Grisby had 10 points on the day. So that gives you the info and the breakdown on the two Undiscovered League games. Now let's get to the big kids on the block, the guys playing in the TBL, which is the basketball league, and those are the Lewisville Leopards. And they had a little bit of a tough weekend again. But like I said, I believe these guys can bounce back. I think they have the skill, number one. And number two, I think they have a coach that's definitely going to push them. But they gotta do some things and change some things around, which I think they have the ability to do it. Shout out to my man Nithin Ramachandra in the building, the NR Hour. He has a podcast. Go check that out on YouTube, also on Instagram, where he does a lot of his interviews. And then I forgot Talking with OC. He's a podcaster as well. Make sure to check him out. Talking with OC. It's on Anchor and all major platforms. So let's get to game one. Game one was the Lewisville Leopards versus the Shreveport Magic. This is the third time that they have played the Shreveport Magic, or Mavericks, excuse me, not related to the Dallas Mavericks. And so the third time that they have played. This has been a tough matchup for Lewisville. I think a major part of it has been foul trouble. Another part of it is the center of the opposing team has been able to impose their will, and I think that's been something struggling. Shout out to Nithin. He's in Florida. Shout out to you from Florida. Glad you got safe travel, and hopefully you have an enjoyable time while you're there. So you can go to thebasketballleague.net where you can check out the games on TBL TV, and you can sign up and watch the Lewisville Leopard games. Or if you're a fan of a team that's not in Texas, they got teams all over the country. So I would highly suggest you check it out. So this is the third matchup between the Leopards and the Shreveport Mavericks. The starters for the Leopards: Chase Winchester, Jarrett Jetpack J. Henderson, Balsa Bolshevik, Tremaine Thomas, and Michael Lenore. That was your starters for the Leopards. So as we get into this game, Housey scores first for the Mavericks. Michael Lenore comes right back with a deep three. I was getting excited with this game because I was definitely projecting the Leopards to come out on the winning end of this, but also come out with some firepower that maybe they potentially haven't had in the past couple of games. And I think a part of it is, being able to finish the game Also, if you start off down in a game, I know that's got to be, kind of an uphill battle. Paul Parks was a new addition to the Mavericks. He was hitting shots. And I wanted to give a shout out to Marcus Brooks, because Marcus Brooks did the commentating on both of these games, and I apologize. This is the game actually from Sunday, so I'm doing it kind of in reverse. But this is the Sunday game. There was some stops and free throws were going to be very important in this game. Also, we do have highlights, so be on the lookout for that as well. Leopards down early, but it was a good back and forth. So I was expecting them to be able to come back and make a run. Austin Wire comes in. I was interested to see what type of impact he was going to have. He hasn't been playing over the past couple of weeks, so it was good to see him back on the floor. How's he dominating on the boards? That goes back to the center play. I think the Leopards are having an issue guarding the centers and being able to stop the centers on the team. And I think that has been a little bit of an issue that they've been facing. Mike Lenore doing his job, good job to draw fouls and be able to get to the free throw line. That's something that I think he's one of the best of that I've seen. The Leopards were struggling with offensive rebounds. That was a little bit of a struggle to watch. Stanley Williams was a new addition to the Leopards. He was coming into this game. He was playing in the Undiscovered League, so he's been getting experience there. But this is the first time I've seen him playing for the Leopards, so that was good to see. Michael Lenore being that true point guard that he is, dropping dimes. It was 36-29, Mavericks up at the end of the first. Mavericks going on a run, beginning of the second. Mavericks D'ing up, and then Leopards end up going down by 20. When they got down by 20, that kind of hit me kind of hard, because I'm thinking, you're down in a game again. So what are you going to do to get back into this game? Paul Parks was hitting shots, driving to the hole, finishing. Chase Winchester started to get physical on D go into that second quarter. We started to see a spark there. And the Leopards, they got to make the free throws. When you get to the free throw line, you got to make those free throw shots. That's it's supposed to be an easy bucket. At the end of the half, it was 66-48. Shreveport were leading, and then from there on, it started to be a game where it was the Magic were just starting to pour it on even more, and it was a struggle. It was definitely a struggle in this game, but like I said, I'm expecting them to come back, and also to be able to bounce back and come back and make a run in this league. At this point right now, they are 2-7. It's not the best record, but I am expecting them to come back, and I am expecting them to play better ball. So at halftime, Michael Lenore had 12, Chase Winchester had 10, Jared Henderson with 9, Paul Parks with 16. Going over to the Shreveport Mavericks side, Paul Parks had 16, Jordan Lyons had 14, Jameer Housey had 10, and AJ Mosby had 9. Leopards getting dominated in the paint. Shout out to Marcus Brooks, who did an amazing job, by the way, commentating both of these games. And he played in the games prior to the Lewisville Leopard game. So, man, he was doing double duty, but the guy did an amazing job. And I made sure I told him that, just because it's not easy commentating. You're reading the people's names, trying to make sure you say the names right. And he had a great analysis, and he was dead on. And so I want to give him a shout out there. Leopards getting dominated in the paint. Shreveport 50%, Leopards 30% hitting open shots, and I think that was a struggle. Going into the third, the Shreveport Magic continue where they left off. Leopards were getting abused down low. Again, that goes to the big man. having a big man and having that presence. A few technicals on the Mavericks. I was wondering, hey, is that going to be a turning point? Some of the Mavericks players were having delay of games. They had a variety of, I think, 3 or 4 delay of games, it seemed like. Good back and forth in the third. Paul Parks has been money most of the day. He was on. Lenore starting to heat up. Michael Lenore to Bosa for a 3. You started to see a spark there. It was 100 to 87. So they started to pull in. So they were down 13 at that point. Deshaun Murray hitting shots in the fourth. Lewisville Leopards go down by 10. They're down by 10 in the fourth. So they had this in kind of in range that they could have came back. Also with a big 3, 117, 104. Leopards getting closer. 122, 109 with 2 minutes and 57 seconds left to go. And then 9 points. It was a 9-point game with a minute 22 left. I was hoping that they could come back. It did not end up working out, which was tough to see. You know, guys going down another game. Mavericks hitting free throws at the end was extremely key. And the Leopards lose 128-117. A game that I was expecting them to win. I was expecting them to get a win. It did not work out, but I do think, and this is up to them, I do believe that they can bounce back. So let's get to the stat sheet, and also we got highlights from this game as well. Chase Winchester was the one of the leading scorers. He had 27 points, went 5 for 8 from the 3. He's that left-handed sharpshooter, that guy that you want to have on your team because you know he is going to give you multiple threes a game. It's going to be inevitable. It's going to happen. And he's one of the leading scorers. Also, he is the steals leader in the TBL. And once again, you go to thebasketballleague.net where you can find and watch the games. The top scorer was Michael Lenore with 33, had 9 assists. Also, he had, he had 2 steals as well. He was 2 for 5 from the 3. And the third leading scorers were Jared Henderson and Balsa Bolshevik had 14 rebounds. Both of them had 14 rebounds. And they're extremely physical and great at rebounding. And then with 13 points, you had Austin Wire. With 7, you had Stanley Williams. Also, Stanley Williams has 7 assists, which you'll see a highlight here in a minute. And then Gabe Hobbs had 3. Going over to the Shreveport Mavericks, you had AJ Mosby with 21. You had Deshaun Murray with 20. You had Jameer Housey with 18. Jordan Lyons with 23. And Paul Parks with 30. He dropped a 30 piece. And he was a great addition. But let's get to the highlights so you can see some of what the Leopards did in this game. It was not all bad. It was a loss, but there's always things that can be built upon. Here goes Michael Lenore with a 3. Nice 3 right there. That was definitely a well-needed 3 that they needed. Here goes Chase Winchester with a 3 from the corner. Buckets. You got to put that leg up just to make sure that thing rattles in. And then Stanley Williams with a dime. Ooh, that no look, that was pretty. That was pretty, Stanley, or Stan, whatever one you want to be called. That was a pretty dime. Nice pass to Jared Henderson. Those are the highlights from the Mavericks game. We also have highlights on deck coming up for the second game of the day, or not of the day, but of the weekend, which was the Leopards going up against the Dallas SKYLINE. So it's a battle of the North Texas teams. And Marcus Brooks, again, doing commentating for this one as well. No Trey Patterson or Jesse Williams in both of these games from this weekend. I think they were definitely missed. Starting lineup: Chase Winchester, Austin Wire, Balsa Bolshevik, Tremaine Thomas, and Michael Lenore. Leopards starting off well. I knew that this was the game that was on Saturday. I knew they were going to start off well because they had a struggle last weekend. So I knew they were going to start off, which they did. Tremaine Thomas starting off hot, man. He was hitting from everywhere on the floor. Paul Thomas, the second, is a new addition. I was wondering what type of impact he was going to have for the Leopards. Leopards' energy was up. Tremaine Thomas was on fire. He was everywhere. Everywhere. You could tell there was definitely a different energy going into this game. Let me change my banner down low so that you can see. And obviously, I put it up there already, but you can see they did not end up winning this game either. But I'll go ahead and break it down. Also, like I said, we'll have highlights. It was 20 to 20 in the first quarter. John Mouton comes in playing solid D. I like the way this guy plays. I definitely like the way he plays. Ricardo Artis for the Dallas Skyline with a nice play down low. Michael Lenore, one of the best. I said this a little bit earlier. One of the best at drawing fouls. He is one of the best at doing this. And I think, again, I've been saying it. I think that these guys will definitely bounce back because they want it. I truly believe that they want it. It's just a matter of trying to figure out what it is that you need to do to get you to that point. And I think these guys will definitely do it. It was 29-28. Skyline was up at the end of the first. It was only a 1-point game, so it was close. Leopards D'ing up, creating turnovers in the second. Delay a game, technical on Skyline. That was a heavy call this weekend. Delay of games. I don't know, maybe it was this team of refs, but it seemed like that was being called multiple times. Providing a spark for Dallas. There was quite a few guys coming in. And that, I was going to say that delay of game call provided a spark for Dallas, the Dallas Skyline. And from there on, man, they were just, you could tell that was something that they needed to kind of get them over a hump. Skyline goes down by 4. Balsa, this was probably one of the major issues of this game. A lot of the players for the Lewisville Leopards fouled out. That was a major problem for this game. This is something that I don't know if I've seen before. When you have the amount of players that fouled out in this game, and I think some of these were some ticky-tack calls. I will definitely say that. But Balsa fouled out of the game in the second half, in the second quarter. Skyline off the glass alley-oop dunk was epic. I got to say that was a dope highlight. It started to get chippy between these two North Texas teams, which it should. It should. They're both trying to win a game. They're both trying to solidify themselves in this Central Division in the TBL. That was 68-55. Skyline was up at halftime. And again, it goes back to the point I've been talking about. Leopards go down early in the game, and it's sometimes hard to get out of that hole. So at halftime, Chase Winchester had 17. Let me see. Tremaine Thomas had 18. Michael Lenore had 14. Ricardo Artis had 17 for Dallas. Malachi, what was this gentleman's last name? Malachi Davison had 13. Chandler Ellis had 10 off the bench. And kind of some key points. Thank you to Marcus Brooks. Skyline was second chance points, and they were stretching the lead. 27 bench points for Skyline. Obviously, that was a major factor in this game as well. Going into the third, Leopards were down by 20. Before in a blink of an eye, they were down by 20. 78-58. Leopards trying to go on a run. There was definitely some questionable calls. Michael Lenore fouls out 2. He ends up with 6. Ricardo Artis just being extremely active throughout this game. And once again, we're talking about the Lewisville Leopards in the TBL, which is the Basketball League. You can see the websites scrolling down below. Make sure to go visit the website so that you can see and know what's going on. Can the Leopards come back? They were down by 20 going into the fourth. John Luton playing great defense. Jared Henderson goes coast to coast. The Leopards starting to provide a spark. They're starting to get something going. John Luton fouls out as well. He was the third player, and I think the last straw was Jared Henderson fouls out. That was the fourth player fouling out in this game. Leopards lose 123 to 109. Another tough weekend. Another tough weekend. I'm expecting better out of them. I do cover this team, so I don't know these guys personally. Like, we don't meet up and hang out, but I do know these are genuinely good guys that want to win. So I believe that they can bounce back. We got highlights on deck, so stay tuned for that. But let's get to the stat sheet. Stanley Williams with a big day, 30 points on the day, 6 rebounds. He also had 4 assists. I'm sorry, I apologize. That was Chase Winchester had 30 on the day, so he had a huge day. He's also, like I said, the leader in the TBL in steals. John Mouton with 10 on the day. Jared Henderson with 11. Jermaine Thomas with 26. He was pretty much on fire. He was hitting from all over the floor. Austin Wire with 10. Michael Lenore with 16. 4 assists. I don't think he really was able to get into that groove after becoming in foul trouble. We had John Mouton foul out. We had Jared Henderson foul out. We had Balsa foul out. We also had Michael Lenore that fouled out. That is a wild scenario that I have never seen in my entire life. 4 guys fouling out in the game. And then also to kind of compare this, Balsa fouled out the previous. He fouled out the previous game as well. So this it's been a tough weekend. It's been a tough weekend for my guys, but let's get back to the grind. I appreciate Gabe Hobbs whenever he posts on social media, like, hey, it was a tough weekend. We could bounce back. We could grind it out. And I think that's what they'll do. The Dallas Skyline. Malachi Davidson with 22. Ricardo Artis with 24. And Chandler Ellis with 10. There was 3 guys with 10. Chandler Ellis, Lyle Lexham, and Altor Bestaford Cole, and then Wesley Harris with 14. So another tough weekend, but let's get to the highlights so you can see something positive and it's not all negative. So let's get to that right now. This first highlight is a dunk by Austin Wire. A nice cut to the hole. That was a nice move. Nice move right there. This next highlight right here is Jermaine Thomas with a 3. Like I said, he was on fire throughout the game. Got a pure stroke, pure shooter. I like this guy play. This last one here is Chase Winchester with 3. I love a left-handed shooter. You know, the Chris Mullins. I had a friend growing up, Gilbert Jackson. He was a left-handed shooter. I love left-handed shooters, man. The shot just looks so pure. Hey, shout out to Mike Gaston. Thank you for tuning in. I appreciate that. Appreciate your support. So once again, talking about the Lewisville Leopards in the TBL, which is the Basketball League. Also check out the website, creatingaminds.org. Coming up this weekend, we got 2 more games on tap for the TBL for the Leopards. On the 14th, they're playing the Dallas Skyline again. They're playing at home, so I'm expecting them to bounce back. Then they play the Little Rock Lightning. That's an away game, which they play on the 16th. So they got 2 games coming up at this point right now. They are not in the great standings, but they can pull it. They can definitely pull it together. They only got 2 wins on the year. They are right now 2-8, and I do believe that they will bounce back. So you can support. Go down to those websites. You can support either way. Thank you all those for tuning in, doing a little bit different. Normally this show is at 8 p.m. Central Standard Time on these same platforms, but due to the storm last night, we weren't able to do it. So I decided to fire it up today and get you a lunch break, get you some lunch break sports talk. So thank you to Overton Claiborne. Thank you to Nathan and Mashonda. Thank you to Mike Gaston. Also McKenna Jackson. Thank you for tuning in. Make sure to like, subscribe, click that notification bell if you're watching on YouTube. Also, make sure to share if you're watching on Facebook. Also, please share on Twitter as well. Also, go to BS3Radio.com to check out all of the shows that we have. We have a brand new show. This is breaking news coming to BS3 Radio. It's called His Dope Cooking Show. This show is by Robert Coop. We call him Cooper. He will be. We will have our very first cooking show, part of BS3 Radio. So stay tuned for that. He'll show you how to cook meals in less than 30 minutes. Also, we always have content coming out. So make sure, like I said, go to the website. We always got content on YouTube. Also, coming up tonight, we have 2 shows coming up, and that'll be on all the platforms. We have, drawing a blank, Queen, 3, and King coming up tonight. That's what Ivan Dawkins and his 3 sisters. That you can find on Facebook and YouTube. The YouTube, it'll be Queen, 3, and King. On the Facebook, it'll be shared to the BS3 Radio platforms. Also, we have the Unscripted podcast. That'll be coming on at 7, so 7 and 7:30. Unscripted, you can find that as well on Facebook. Just type in Unscripted, or better yet, follow everything on BS3 Radio, and it will be shared to that platform. And all the audio versions of the episode is uploaded to the website, and it's available on all podcast platforms. So thank you everybody for tuning in today. A special edition, special episode of the Creating Young Minds recap. We'll be back next week. Also, you can check out the Forecast, another podcast that I'm on. Myself, Doc, H-Rap, and Wilkes. We've been reviewing the Exterminate All the Brutes. You can find that on YouTube, Facebook. Simple, type in BS3 Radio, go to BS3Radio.com. You'll find all the content that you need. So thank you everybody for tuning in. Have a great rest of your day. If you're in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, try to stay dry, stay safe. God bless. God is love, and peace. I'm out.